Hello, welcome to Senior Living Today. I'm Scott Buchanan, CEO for the Ohio Masonic Home. Over the next 8 months, we're going to take a deep dive into the senior living industry, debunking the myths and talking about how rapidly this industry is changing and what type of lifestyle you should expect when exploring senior living options today. As you all may know, there isn't a handbook or a how-to guide when it comes to navigating this complex world. We all have loved ones who at some point have needed care, whether in senior living, at home, but with little to no instruction on what questions to ask, what to look for, and how to afford it. During each episode, we're going to take a closer look at this complicated world and help you understand what kind of services to look for, what questions to ask, and what you can do now to financially prepare for your future. In today's episode, we're going to take a look back over the history and charity of our Ohio Masonic Home. In addition, we will speak with a couple of guests relative to their experiences and what to expect from a senior living community. When we come back, I will be joined by Steve Pettigene, Executive Director of the Ohio Masonic Home Foundation, and Tony Berardi, President and Administrator of the Springfield Masonic Community. We're going to talk about how the Ohio Masonic Home has evolved over the last 127 years and has transitioned to a provider of choice in the senior living industry. Please stay with us.
All right, Mary, we're going to pick out your outfit for today, okay?
Oh, I liked that.
Hey, what do you think about the Ave over there? Think I already get its digits?
Absolutely.
Good morning, Faye.
Hi, John.
Are you on those filters again?
Yep.
At Browning Masonic Community, you're more than just a job title. To start your rewarding career, visit us at ohiomasonichome.org today.
Welcome back. I'm Scott Buchanan, and I'm joined by Steve Pettigene.
Hey, Scott, thanks for having me.
Absolutely, Steve. Tell us a little bit about yourself.
Scott, it goes way back. I grew up in Piqua, Ohio. I made my way to the University of Cincinnati, where I got a double major in accounting and finance. To make my way through school, I started as a part-time collector for an Ohio regional bank, where I stayed for 24 years. Along the way, I was blessed to marry my Lehman Catholic high school sweetheart, who, by the way, in case she watches this episode, she's as beautiful today as she ever has been. We've been blessed with two beautiful daughters, college-age daughters, and I'm not so blessed with 4 crazy dogs. So that's kind of my life in a nutshell.
That sounds like a lot. So what made you decide to join the Ohio Masonic Home team?
I get asked that a lot after 24 years in banking, and I usually start with a joke that maybe says, hey, I'm a recovering banker. Truth be told, I had a health scare. And when you have a health scare, it gives you a chance to kind of put life into perspective. It allows you to kind of reassess what's important to you. Where do you want to spend your time? Does your value system align with the organization you're working for? I have zero regrets for an amazingly successful banking career, but it was time for me to find that something new. And honestly, I found that here at the Ohio Masonic Home.
So you've been here a couple of years now. What do you like about the industry? What do you think draws you and keeps you coming back every day?
This industry, as well as whether it be banking or retail sales or restaurant management, to me it is all about service. Everybody's in the service business. I believe that organizations that can align their value system with shared values of the employees, they can be a winning organization. However, it's the organizations that I think can train, retain, can recruit, train, and retain those key employees. Those employees that really have a passion for serving other people, that genuinely care about helping others get ahead, those are going to be the winning organizations.
So you mentioned winning senior care. What does that look like to you?
It's funny that you ask. We recently, my wife and I, Lori, had an opportunity to shop several senior communities recently to find a new home for her mom and dad. What we did really kept it really simple. We first took a look at and tried to analyze for each organization what was their mission and what were their stated values. As we identified that, we would then kind of look about, and as we went onto the campuses to try to note, did we see that mission and those values in action on the campuses? It starts really simple. Were the grounds well kept? Were the public and private facilities clean? Were we greeted with a smile? Those are the simple things. Beyond that, we would really look to see maybe were the employees, were the residents, were they engaged, were they connected to kind of the organization?
So we talked about being connected and valued. What does that mean? Connected and valued as far as so you assessed kind of these places for your mother-in-law, and What did you looked at the mission, you looked at the organization. What did you mean by connected and valued with the organization?
Yeah, let me give you a couple of examples, Scott. When I joined the Ohio Masonic Home, in the short time I've been there, I could give you hundreds of examples, but two of them would come to this one. The first one is a female that moved to our campus. Her husband had recently passed. She's a self-proclaimed introvert, wasn't sure how she would fit in. Within a 3-month period, this individual got active and joined a volunteer group, and today she leads a ton of activities, and just recently went and did zip lining with her friends. It was incredible. A second gentleman, he's a widower on our northern campus, and it came to the attention of staff that his daughter, who was living in California, had recently passed away. And he was saddened because he was living paycheck to paycheck, trying to make ends meet, that he wasn't going to get an opportunity to get out to California to say goodbye to his daughter. The staff member brought it to the organization, and our organization was able to make that possible and let him kind of say his goodbyes. So to me, Scott, that is what a fantastic, that's living your values. That's delivering on the mission. That's the Ohio Masonic Home.
So we talked about Masonic values a little bit. Can you tell me what you mean by those? What about those Masonic values for our organization?
That crazy word, Masonic, right? That scary word that
Yeah, the
people
scary
hear.
word.
I would tell you that the organization ourselves, let me start there, it's been around for 127 years, right? The organization was primarily started to serve distressed Master Masons, their wives and widows. And as time came and the idea was presented, there was this great plight, a significant number of children that were abandoned and orphaned. And Ohio Freemasons identified that, and they recognized it. And when the home first opened back in 1897, along with the adults were kids that moved in. Because in 1956, due to an improving economy and to increase in social services and really a declining number of orphans, the last orphan left the Ohio Masonic Homes campus in 1956. Wow. In 1995 then, we opened up the campus to the public, right? So today we accept Masons and non-Masons. We have about 800 residents that we serve, 35% of which have really zero Masonic tie. Honestly, that's probably a lie. When I say they have zero Masonic tie, they are tied. They're tied because they receive the same care and generosity, everyday generosity that Freemasons live, and that's the Masonic value. They want to live that way, and so those folks are connected through the mission of Ohio Freemasons.
So they really feel part of the community.
Completely feel tied to the community.
Can you tell us about the 3 communities that we have and talk a little bit about that?
We've got 3 amazing communities, as you're well aware. So 127 years ago was the Springfield start. So Springfield's located between Dayton and Columbus. It's a sprawling campus of 260 acres. We also have the Western Reserve Masonic community. That one is situated it's on I-71, about 20 miles south of Cleveland. It's in Medina, Ohio. That one sits, about 290 acres, and we serve about 200 residents on the campus. And then we have our geographically largest campus. It's our Browning Masonic campus. It's in Waterville, Ohio. It's next to Perrysburg, just south of Toledo, Ohio. And we have three amazing campuses. And the 3 campuses, they all serve independent living, assisted living, as well as memory care. And then our 2 bigger campuses, Medina, or Western Reserve we call it, as well as Springfield, they also deliver skilled nursing care.
Is there anything else you'd like to tell us, the audience, about our Ohio Masonic Home and kind of anything you want to share this early in the juncture?
Scott, I appreciate that. Selfishly, I'll tell you about what I do here in a second, but I think a lot of people understand and know who we are because we have these beautiful 3 sprawling campuses and what we do. What they might not know, though, is about the Ohio Masonic Home Resource Center. The Resource Center really is a division of the Ohio Masonic Home that was created as a conduit to Ohio seniors, really to connect them to resources that are available in their communities to help them live in their everyday lives.
Keep their independence, right?
Keep their independence. That's exactly right, Scott. And then I will tell you the other little known fact is we've got a foundation, right? We are blessed with a nice investment portfolio, but my job, our team's job, really is to raise monies. We raise monies in support of the work of the Ohio Masonic Foundation. It's really to raise the monies and to manage that investment portfolio so we can be here for the next 127 years and beyond.
So speaking of the foundation, do you think it's, do you have responsibility for, by the way, Do you think it's important for the viewers to look at their financial stability and the financial stability of a senior living community? Because they're going to look at their stability as part of this and try to figure out, wow, can I afford that? They should also look at us the same way, right? Look at the stability of our organization.
Definitely. I appreciate you reminding me of my responsibilities. That's important to me, Scott. But yes, definitely. I think it's super important. You know, to make a decision to move into a senior living campus, community, wherever you might live, oftentimes that's the last choice that people make as their final home.
Right.
So I think it's super important that the resident themselves and the loved one understand that the community is going to be solvent. Certainly that the provider, the organization itself, is going to deliver for them the care and compassion that they come to expect. And then certainly maybe have the financial stability to care for the loved one if and when, should that individual live beyond the resources, the retirement assets that they save for. You know, I'm very proud to say that the Ohio Masonic Home, never once have we ever exited any resident from one of our campuses for running out of their resources.
We can be very proud of that. Steve, thank you so much for joining us today. It was great. Great having you here.
Yes.
I really valued your insight. It was awesome. Really good to have some insight from different perspectives on our 127-year-old Ohio Masonic Home. When we come back, I will be joined by Tony Berardi, President and Administrator of the Springfield Masonic Community in Springfield, Ohio, who's going to help us better understand some of the common misconceptions and assumptions within our industry.
Hi, Kelly. What's for lunch today?
We have our lentil soup, we have our corn chowder, and we have our spicy buffalo chicken meatball sub.
Hey, what do you think about that guy named Dave over there?
Oh, he's a catch. You should totally go for it.
Think I ought to get his digits?
Absolutely.
At Browning Masonic Community, you're more than just a job title. To start your rewarding career, visit us at ohiomasonichome.org today.
Good morning, Faye.
Hi, John. Come and look at this.
Are you on those filters again?
Yep.
At Browning Masonic Community, you're more than just a job title. To start your rewarding career, visit us at ohiomasonichome.org today.
All right, Mary, we're gonna pick out your outfit for today, okay? You have this one. Do you like this one?
No, I want something hotter than that.
I think you're really gonna like this one though.
Oh, that's the one. I like that.
All right, then we're gonna work on your hair next.
At Browning Masonic Community, you're more than just a job title. To start your rewarding career, visit us at ohiomasonichome.org today.
Welcome back to Senior Living Today. I'm your host, Scott Buchanan, and I'm now joined by Tony Berardi. Tony, thanks for being part of the show.
Absolutely, I wouldn't miss the opportunity.
So Tony, tell me a little bit about yourself.
Well, I'm originally from Youngstown, Ohio. Went to Kent State University, graduated with an engineering degree. Married my wife, Pam, 18 years ago. I have two beautiful young girls who are now 16 and 14. And we relocated down to Springfield to join the Ohio Masonic Home back in 2015. And that's, man.
Haven't looked back, huh? So how'd you become interested in senior living? Tell us a little bit about how you went from engineering to senior living.
Sure. I was working back in Youngstown, and my wife had a sister who was running an assisted living at the time, and they had an opening in the marketing department, and she thought I would be good at it. So I started working for a company named Altera at that time, and ran 2 assisted living buildings, and I've never looked back. I absolutely love healthcare.
We talked a little bit a minute ago about how the industry is evolving. In your experience, how have you seen the industry evolve over time?
Sure. The industry is constantly evolving. Facilities that want to be successful have learned to change their marketing strategies. We're all trying to prepare for one of the largest changes in our industry, which is the baby boomers coming in. So their needs are vastly different. Their wants are vastly different than what they were before. And so facilities have learned to reinvent themselves over and over again, whether it's adding amenities to the campus, looking at the services they provide, and changing what they do to meet the needs of the customer.
So there's a lot of misconceptions about communities like the Springfield Masonic community. A lot of times are referred to as a nursing home. Can you help from a service standpoint understand, what does it mean with all the service offerings and things that we do have, and why we're not a traditional nursing home, and help break that connotation down a little bit?
Sure. The term nursing home has always bothered me. I think a lot of people in general public, when you hear the term nursing home, they think about the old county homes that their grandparents were in when they were younger, and then they would go with their mom and dad to visit them. And now that has a negative connotation, and nursing home is being used for anywhere where seniors go to live. The seniors themselves don't like to be called, that they live in a nursing home. They don't like that either. So now, with the way that facilities and campuses are setting themselves up, there's many lines of services. At Springfield Masonic Community, we have independent living villas, independent living apartments. Then we have assisted living, which assisted living is a fairly new concept. It's only been around since about 1980, and it has changed dramatically since its inception. And then we also do have skilled nursing, which is the proper term for nursing home.
Right, and we also have care for memory care as well. Memory care, Alzheimer's, dementia, and specialty unit for that as well.
Yep.
So we talked about assisted living. What does that mean? Am I still living in my own apartment, my own home? What does assisted living look like?
So assisted living is very unique. Are you living in your own home? Yes. You are considered to be living in a residential care facility, which is the actual licensure for an assisted living. So it is your own home. The difference is we can bring services to you in your home. You'll have dining services available, care services available, laundry services available, and assisted livings can adapt themselves to whatever clientele they want to serve.
Okay.
So you can have a social model assisted living where maybe you do light care for what we call activities of daily living, or you could have more of a medical model where you do a lot more hands-on care. So in one situation, you may have people who are there more for the safety and security of having a nurse taking care of their medications, or having staff members there to make sure they're safe when they're taking a shower, and making sure they're getting their meals on time. And then you can go the other end of the spectrum where you have to deliver a lot of care, whether we have to help that person transfer, we have to help them get dressed, we have to physically bathe them. So assisted living is kind of a big ball of clay, and each facility can model themselves how they want to best serve their customers.
So we talked a lot about specialty care in the nursing home or skilled nursing facility. We talked a little bit about memory care. We talked about assisted living. So let's talk about independent living on our campuses, our other level of living, if you will. What's the difference between me living at home or moving to a community that has all these services and all these levels of care and independent living? What does that look like?
So independent living, it's different everywhere, but the one word that we like to use is lifestyle. Independent living is all about lifestyle. So when you rent like an independent living villa at Springfield Masonic, it is no different than living in the center of Springfield or in Dayton or anywhere out in the community. The difference is your neighbors. The difference is the things that are available to you that you don't have to drive when the weather's bad. The fact that if your hot water tank goes out, there's a maintenance crew there that's going to replace it for you. You don't have to rely on the 16-year-old kid down the street to cut your grass who you know is not going to show up. And you're with peers. You know, you don't have to worry about who's going to buy the house next door and who's going to be your neighbors. Are they going to have dogs? Are they going to have little kids running all over? You know you're going to be with peers. You know you're going to be with like-minded people. The other part about it is in independent living, you get to choose how you live. So at Springfield Masonic, we offer a whole array of activities for people to take part in. They get to choose whether or not they want to come to those. If you want to come to the community and take advantage of the safety and security of having everything there, and you want to stay to yourself, that's totally up to you.
So there's all kinds of campuses. We have 3 that offer those types of services, all levels of care. We also hear a commonly used term called CCRC, or Continuing Care Retirement Community. What does that mean?
So a continuing care retirement community is a campus that has all those levels of care that we just spoke about. So you have the ability to move in before you need to.
Okay.
So you move into an independent living villa, and in that villa you can live your life as you did even living back home, only without the hassles of the maintenance issues and those things. And then you can progress through the levels of care. You could go to assisted living when your needs change. And then should your needs change drastically, you could also go into the skilled nursing facility.
Okay, so if someone's considering one or all of those options, what would you tell them? When do I start looking? How do I get my head around, can I do this? Is it good for me? What does that look like?
I always tell people, move when you get the opportunity to make the decision instead of waiting till you have to make the decision. So the key is to go to a campus and find one that fits you, fits your personality, fits your needs, fits your wants, fits your life, fits your hobbies, and then go now. Go now when you can go there and enjoy everything that they have to offer, because CCRCs do offer a lot. And if you go too late, you might not be able to partake in it, and then you're going to be missing out on
Which is
what
where
it's really
the
for.
whole term life planning community comes from, where we can plan our life out versus this continuing care retirement, right? Mm-hmm. So Tony, we talked a lot about all the different options there are. So how does someone know? What if someone doesn't necessarily want to leave their home or can't afford a CCRC or to live in a community? What's that look like in a life plan community? Are there other options available? I mean, are there other resources available to our constituents if they have a question or a need?
Yeah, so one of the advantages of the Ohio Masonic Home is that we have the Resource Center, which is a fully funded program that we have that reaches out to people in need in the community and helps connect them with resources and different things that are publicly available.
Well, we're going to learn all about the Ohio Masonic Home Resource Center on a later show and how it relates to connecting seniors in the general public to the services they may need without having to physically leave their homes. So Tony, with the Senior Resource Center, what's the advantage of moving into a CCRC? So if we have the Resource Center, we've had residents do that. They decide they have a need, we go out and assess things, and they decide, I'm going to move into a community. We have folks that moved into Springfield just exactly that way. So what if somebody doesn't necessarily want to leave their home or doesn't want to move into a CCRC? What other options are available?
Well, the Ohio Masonic Home does have a sect of our company called the Resource Center, and they reach out to people in the community and help connect them with resources that are available.
Okay, well, we're going to learn all about the Ohio Masonic Home Resource Center in a separate episode of our show and how it relates to connecting seniors to the public, to the services they may need, and what without having any physical ability or having to leave their homes at all. Tony, with the Resource Center, what's the advantage of moving into a CCRC? So if we've assessed things and look at that, what's the advantage of moving into the CCRC?
So some of the advantages are, like we talked about, it's being around peers, being around like-minded people. It's having the availability to go out to eat without having to drive off campus. It's having the fellowship and the brotherhood of people around you. It's a community within a community. We connect very strongly with the outside community off campus, but inside we also connect very strongly with one another at the different levels of care and all through the campus.
Well, thank you so much for explaining the industry and sharing all of your experience with not only our Ohio Masonic Home, but the other places you've been, and bringing that all into one place where folks can hopefully understand the industry. So thank you, Tony, for joining us.
No problem.
Be sure to check out our show each month as we take a closer look at senior living and answer questions you may want to know. If you have any specific questions you'd like to see answered, you can send those questions in to omhmarketing@ohiomasonichome.org or give us a call at 937-505-8405. You can also check out our Facebook page to see current events, happenings at all of our campuses. If you'd like more information on campus living options for your loved one, give us a call at the number on your screen. Thanks so much for watching. We look forward to having you back next month.